I suppose if you, following the reports in the media about delayed payments and palpable dissatisfaction with various aspects of the scheme, that question goes without saying. But the broader point is that after 12 years, this scheme was long overdue for a review, because it's normal in the life of a project like this to have a review every now and then, and in fact should have been done long ago, in order to know whether we are on the right path and whether there are some adjustments required. Yes.
Now, some of your recommendations are pretty bold. I mean, for example, guaranteed universal primary health care for every Ghanaian. How is that possible?
I think the better way to look at that is what we are doing now is what looks impossible to me, because the NHIS is supposedly providing a benefit package, but 95% of all the conditions in the country for a certain, all the sick, the most sick people in the country, because the 40% coverage is really most of the people who are sick in this country. And it is trying to do that with no limits whatsoever on expenditure. There's none. There's nothing in the design currently of the NHIS that limits its expenditures. What we are proposing, by contrast, is actually very modest. What I'm saying is that we don't have the money to spend on all of these expensive, care. Healthcare technologies are extremely expensive, especially at the higher levels of the system. At the lower levels of the system, it's very, very cost effective. Let's concentrate on those levels of the health system where you can get better value for your money. And then as our income grows and so forth, we can expand and improve and add and
so that's what you mean by guaranteed universal primary health care?
Yes, it's guaranteed universal because we are using the
guaranteed. Yes. Would that not be limitless, like the same situation we were in before?
No, exactly. Thank you for that question, because it makes me want to clarify a very important concept. When we say it's guaranteed, what is guaranteed is the primary package that will be offered by the NHIS.
Which will include what and what and what?
That is currently being defined between the committee, the Ministry of Health, which is leading it, and the NHIA. And it will be guided by what is affordable given the resources that we have now. The universal primary health care we're talking about is the aspirational goal. The country should aim at that. It doesn't mean that next year, 2 years after, we will be able, we'll get that. But we will move progressively towards that. And what we will be able to do initially will be what is going to be defined in that primary package. It will not cover everything. It will cover probably CHIPS compounds, definitely, and care at the health centers level. And then we will see whether, how much more we can cover beyond those levels.
And where does the capitation scheme fit into this guaranteed universal primary health care?
The capitation is actually the guarantee that we are not likely to have cost overruns as we have today. Because the capitation means that we will know in advance at the beginning of every year exactly how much what we are proposing will cost. Because we will pay these monies in advance. We can calculate exactly in advance how much is due, because we know the total population, therefore how much we are going to pay to providers for the year concerned. And make sure that it is affordable, because we also know what the revenue is likely to be for that year, and make sure that we've defined a package that is within that revenue.
Your focus is on maternal and child health. Why that focus?
That's because if you look at our child, maternal and child health indicators, given that Ghana is now a lower middle income country, actually those indicators are deplorable. I mean, they are below the average. I showed that today in a table. They are below the average of lower income countries. That means our income category. So it is an important area, and these are two key indicators of the performance of any health system. And so, given that we are not performing very well there, we need to actually look at investing in trying to bring those indicators down to a level that we are comfortable with. And that's the reason why we need to focus on
that's the reason why. So this of course, maternal and child health, is it also part of the guaranteed package?
It is indeed part of that guaranteed package, yes.
Great. Now, you said in your address, I want to say exactly what you said, that for the guaranteed primary and maternal and child health care package, possession of an NHIS card may not be necessary to access health care. Can you elaborate a bit on that?
Will not be necessary. I will go stronger than that. If you say that you are guaranteeing the service for everybody in the country, then what is the need to have,
so, for example, if I was not a registered member, how would you know?
You would still need to identify yourself. That's different from having an NHIS card. NHIS card can be used as your identification. Similarly, other forms of identification will be necessary, will be accepted.
So you wouldn't be bothering yourself with those who have not registered to be on the scheme? Or you will need a unique NHIS ID?
You need the NHIS ID card for care that is not in the primary healthcare package.
Okay.
And clearly, some people will need that,
right,
because people will need care at the higher levels of the system. But for the primary healthcare package that we are talking about, you don't need that card because it's guaranteed for everyone. You just need to identify yourself because we want to avoid abuses of the system, and also we want to be able to track utilization. For those reasons, you must identify yourself.
So what happens to other conditions that are not captured in this primary healthcare package?
Well, that's one of the differences between this package we're talking about. And mind you, these are just our proposals. I mean, I should actually emphasize, this is not government policy. It's important.
And do you have an implementation plan? Exactly. Is there an implementation plan?
Yeah, we actually, the next stage is actually, in fact, looking at the implementation plan with an implementation working group that will actually pay attention to this.
Okay, Dr. Chris Atim, I'm grateful for your time. Dr. Chris Atim is chairman of the 7-member committee that was set up to review the NHIS, and he says indeed that the NHIS needs to be reviewed. We'll take